for the Cohasset Advisory Committee meeting on Wednesday, December 4th, 2024. And I would like a roll call, please. Mark Cameron.
Mark Cameron here.
Fran Collins.
Present.
Diane Kennedy.
Diane Kennedy here.
Mary McGoldrick.
Mary McGoldrick here.
Meg Wheeler.
Meg Wheeler present.
And Gina Stino present. Okay, so we don't have a huge agenda, but there are a few things to look through. And you know what? I just realized. Okay. So I'm going to let Michelle kind of guide us through the suggested motions. Ellen and I met on Monday with Chris and Dan Evans about the various warrant articles and the status of all of them, and they're all pretty much straightforward. I believe that the citizens petition has been withdrawn, but do they have to do that on town meeting floor, don't they? Because it was already in
They
the
do.
proposed. Yeah, so somebody will have to speak. Somebody from that group will have to speak and announce that they've withdrawn it. But that was the only really controversial thing. And then I think that maybe the MBTA area in the zoning, that might cause some conversation, but unless somebody has a burning desire to speak on any of these articles, I think we're good. But if anybody wants to speak up, by all means, raise your hand at the meeting and I would be more than happy to have you. Okay, so without further ado.
Would you like me to
Michelle.
share the motions?
I'm sorry?
Would you like me to share the proposed motions?
Yes, that would be great.
Okay.
And I asked Michelle to share them on the screen. I was not able to print them, so. My old printer doesn't work well with my newer computer, so. So Article 1. Oh, there are no unpaid bills from previous fiscal years.
Yay.
Yeah, that's great. But Article 1, we voted 8-0 to allow for that transfer. It's related to the 143 TV, as you all know. So Article 2 is unpaid bills. So we don't have to worry about that. Stabilization funds. There's a transfer from free cash for the OPEB trust fund in the amount of $350,000 and free cash also funding the capital stabilization fund for $100,000. And again, we voted unanimously on that. So I think we can go to Article 4, Michelle. Maybe 4, 5, and 6 might fit. So for allocation of funds for one-time costs, and we voted unanimously to recommend that for open space for the harbor master plan, 60,000, free cash for the public health rental inspection program in the amount of $13,500. Free cash for future structure of town government. That's a study that is proposed to be conducted to see how all the bits and pieces fit together for the future. Then there's some money from the waterways fund for repairing docks, floats, etc. for 10,000. Additional electric charging stations. Do you recall, Michelle, how many this covers, the 20,000?
So that's not actually for additional charging stations. It's to
it's to
maintain the ones we
repair.
already have.
Yes, maintenance. Okay, thanks for that reminder. And then the airlifting bags, which was moved from another section of the warrant. And again, we voted unanimously on that one. Community Preservation Committee. Cohasset Historic Military Memorial Committee wants to put a stone memorial at Veterans Memorial Park. That would be $75,000. And that's for, I think it says Revolution. Is it Revolutionary War?
Yeah. And War of 1812.
1812, yeah. And then Milliken baseball field improvements for 60,500. Sorry, I'm having a problem with one of my eyes and it's not helping me read. But we were missing a couple of people that night, but we did vote unanimously among the people who were here.
Hmm.
Okay, capital improvements projects. So for the water department is using some of their retained earnings to replace the water main on Short Street for 260,000. Same with the water retained earnings to install new water main pipe on Cedar Street for 215,000. And then upgrades to chlorine gas equipment for Lily Pond water treatment plant for 60,000. So that's the first part of that capital improvements project, all from retained earnings. And then the general fund is the school special stabilization fund, $115,000 for design and project management for the Osgood roof replacement. And then the school special stabilization fund fire alarm system at the middle high school for $1,430,000. And capital stabilization is going to fund police patrol rifles for $17,000. And I believe the comment was made the other day at our meeting that the patrol rifles are, the ones that we have are old. So this will get us a little bit more current.
Hmm.
You have a question? Fran?
The only question I had was
Oh,
on,
okay.
on the water retained earnings, Michelle, does that include repaving the road when they do that? Or is that separate that falls under Brian Joyce's repaving schedules?
Mark, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I don't know how it was structured. Typically, they do put down coal patch if they're doing it in the winter, and then we do the full repavement. DPW does the full repavement,
Yeah.
but I'm not entirely sure. I can check on that.
Okay, just curious. Not that
Great.
it changes it one way or the other.
If you could just shoot us a message so
Sure.
that we have the details for that, that would be great. Thank you. And to meet the appropriation for the water department, let's see. Okay, that just explains further the retained water earnings and the school stabilization fund money. Let's just see, to meet the appropriation for the police department funds for the $17,000 will be transferred for this purpose from capital stabilization fund. And to update a vote under blah, blah, blah. Sorry, as I said, I couldn't access this. So I'm just reading these motions now. Okay, but we already voted these. So I think that it's probably highlighted just to indicate that if anybody has any questions, this gives more information about it. And then Article 7, that was a majority vote also, 8-0. So 8, creation of revolving fund for public health program. So rental inspections and other programs will be the revolving fund. And the director of public health and town manager will have the spending authority to use revenue from fees paid by property owners for the inspections. And the items that can be covered with these fees is salaries, expenses, and contractual services. And it says fiscal year 25 and subsequent years. So I'm guessing that means that as we go forward, it will continue to self-fund. Article 9, petitioning the legislature for additional all alcohol. This one might be a little bit controversial because people question how many licenses there are, why we may need more. I mean, we did make the determination the other night at our meeting that we may not even use all the ones that we're looking for. So it's just to authorize 5 additional all alcoholic liquor licenses for on-premises consumption. Article 10, and just stop me if anybody has a question, because I know I'm buzzing through these pretty fast, but they're pretty standard on what it, I mean, we voted on all of them already, so these are just fine-tuned. Amendments to Article 10.1 wind energy. And that's to amend zoning bylaws. These are, how many zoning things are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. And then maybe, do they continue on to the next page, Michelle? Yeah. Does anybody want to discuss any of these? Michelle might be able to explain if we have questions, but we didn't take any action on the Town Manager Act. So that was the one that we believe is going to be withdrawn.
I think that Article 17, we ought to, was there anything new in that we voted 8-0 on it? That was just to develop that on the zoning map where that area would be. I guess that's all that was, there was nothing else.
Yeah. I mean, the bottom line is, we really don't, we have to, the law says we have to have an area of town that can be used in this way. But we don't have land that can be used. So we just want to make sure that we're meeting the law by developing the area or by identifying the area.
And that's what we did, correct, yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so 18 is the citizens petition, and
That's it.
that's it.
That's it. I do have an answer for you on the water department. It's on the road paving plan, so it would be road money that's being used. The water department is responsible for the pipe, the temporary trench, and resurfacing.
Got it. Thank you.
Do you know when it's scheduled for repaving?
I don't,
Okay,
but I can find out.
okay. I know you can. 'Cause you just found out
It's a
that.
pretty bad road in town. It's pretty horrendous. It's a short road, as it says, but
There you go.
Well named.
Right,
it's a pretty bad one.
right. I would be interested in seeing what roads are scheduled when, just out of curiosity, and it doesn't have to be, it's not for this purpose, it's just in general. I'd like to see, because I have to tell you, Church Street was a mess for so long. It was crazy. One of my friends likened it to the Burma Road. You could ruin your car. There were a couple of potholes that could swallow a small child. So, okay, so that's good. So we went through all of those. Does anybody have any more questions?
I had the paving schedule here, but I can't put my hand on it right now, but
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe, Michelle, if you could
Yeah,
somehow.
I think it's on the website. Let me see if I can
It
find it.
probably is. It probably is. Did everyone receive the notification of the open meeting law training? I think it's
I don't
next.
think so.
no,
Hold on a minute.
nope.
It's on Wednesday. It's hybrid open meeting law training. And I'll read it just so you know what it is. On behalf of the town of Cohasset, we cordially invite you to attend a hybrid open meeting law training. This meeting will provide an in-depth exploration of legal frameworks, governance, best practices, and assist with key initiatives for the year ahead. It's on Wednesday, December 11th at 6 p.m. at the Sail Loft at Wilcott Commons. And it's in person and virtual participation. So whichever is most appropriate for you is good. We encourage your in-person presence at the Sail Loft for a more interactive and engaging experience. For those who can't attend in person, you can do it virtually. And there is a link in the email that came. It came on Monday from Megan James. So
Yeah.
if anybody's interested in that, I have to say, in my 9 years on the school committee, and then after that, I went to so many of these, I think I could probably recite
Good
most
one.
of it. Diane,
A quick question, is who's leading it? Do we know?
is it Megan James or is it someone else? Do we know?
No.
It doesn't say.
Oh, no.
Okay,
Um,
all right.
Typically it's legal counsel that runs it.
right. Well, I can tell you, having done a million of them myself, that you're not supposed to participate from a car. And if you're remotely participating, you have to keep your camera on the whole
Camera on,
time.
right.
So there's a lot of things we might learn that,
Right.
but you know, we got to do it right. So even I feel
Right.
guilty doing what I'm doing right now. So anyway.
You'll get
Well, if
over
it makes you feel any better, I did the meeting on Monday from my car because something came up at the end of the day at work and I couldn't leave the office. So I had to leave
I
the
know.
office after I planned. So.
It does help.
Yeah. So again, just to let you all know, if anybody wants to participate, you could even just log in and watch.
Yep.
You know, I mean, even if you don't want to actively participate, just see if there's something that's needs a refresh. So that's the one thing that I wanted to mention that's different. And then we have a set of minutes from Lee and Tina for the November 13th meeting.
I didn't see that.
You didn't get it?
I didn't, if it came, I haven't looked at it since it arrived.
Okay, it came on the 4th.
Oh, I haven't-
Today's the 4th. No, it came a couple of days ago. Yesterday or Monday. So we can hold off on approving, but we do have enough people to approve them. And then you could take a look later, just so that we're up to date through town meeting. There is one more that I have to create that I only have vague notes on. But it's another one of those brief things where we just did the votes for the transfers in July. So I have to do that and submit that for approval. But this is the only one I believe that's outstanding still. So do we want to vote on it?
Let's see. Why not?
Sure. It came on the 2nd
Right, I knew it was Monday or Tuesday.
at 11:48.
Very good.
So just for the record, I wasn't at the meeting, so normally
Right.
I would abstain, although I can vote on them if you need my vote to have a majority.
Okay, and it does note that you were absent.
But I'm just saying, in terms of the vote to approve the minutes, one can vote in favor of minutes
That they
administratively.
didn't
that they-
participate in.
Correct. So if you need me to do that, I'm happy to do so.
Well,
I
we
did
can wait, and we can wait until our next meeting. It doesn't,
Let's
I'm just-
see.
because we're going to have that other set anyway, so we could do both of them at the same time.
Okay.
Michelle, is there a habit anymore of requesting FOIA requesting minutes?
No, that's calmed down quite a bit.
Well, we're not that far behind anyway. We only have these and the ones from July. And all the other ones have been submitted, so I think we're good.
All right, I just speed read those minutes and I don't see any issues with them, so.
I'm
Okay.
fine with it.
All right, so does someone want to make a
Yeah.
motion to approve the minutes of November 13th?
So moved.
I'll second.
Mary McGoldrick. Okay. All in favor? Mary McGoldrick,
Aye.
Mark Cameron,
Mark Cameron, aye.
Diane Kennedy,
Diane Kennedy, aye.
Fran Collins,
I,
Meg Wheeler,
Meg Wheeler, aye.
and Gina Stino, aye. So 6. Okay, so that's good. I really don't have any topics reasonably anticipated within 48 hours in advance of the meeting. Does anybody else have anything that they want to discuss prior to Monday night?
Just a quick question, Jean, since we've gone through everything, you would just like us there just prior to 7, or are you going to be posting a meeting for Monday or no?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think we have anything to vote on unless I get my act together and get those minutes done.
That, I
That's
mean,
gonna happen.
yeah, that's fine.
I'm
Um,
nagged
Do you have to post
and-
just to sit there and be there together and, oh no, we don't have to.
The what?
I forget, do we have to post a meeting just because we're all there together or no?
No, only if we're gonna take action on something prior to the meeting. And
Okay.
we typically do it just as a cautionary thing in case something comes up.
Yep.
So, I don't know, maybe tomorrow I'll have Tracy just post. Just in case anything funky comes out of the woodwork. Does that work for everybody?
Yeah, but to Mary's question, post for showtime for 7 p.m. or whatever, 6:50.
Well, I'll post for 6:45.
Okay.
Okay, and that
Yep.
way, if we need any quickie votes, we should be able to figure it out.
Great.
Okay. Tracy's in, right?
I believe so. I can just post it. It's,
Okay.
I'll
that'd
post
be
it.
great. That'd be great. Thank you very
Sure.
much. And you could just post it as kind of what this is. Special town meeting. Just do it as special town meeting, maybe with any remaining votes needed.
Okay.
Something simple,
Okay,
okay? But it has to be done by tomorrow.
I'll get it in first thing.
Great, thank you very much.
Sure.
And if we don't have anything else,
I do
Well,
just have one thing for you,
oh,
sorry,
yeah,
before you
okay.
adjourn. So Short Street is scheduled to start in April.
oh, great,
Yeah.
great. See, she's magic.
On a long road.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
And did you see, is the paving schedule online?
I couldn't find it.
Yeah,
I know it's there somewhere. I have a hard time with our website.
I know Brian Joyce is sharing it.
Yeah,
Council Steeder gave it to me last year and it's still pretty much on schedule and I just couldn't put my hand on it here. tonight.
I'll find it and send it off.
that would be great. Thank you.
Sure.
If you circulate it to all the members, that would be fabulous.
Okay,
Okay. All right, so if there's nothing else,
Motion to adjourn.
thank you, Mark. Do I have a second?
Second,
So that's Mark and Fran. Roll call vote, please. Mary McGoldrick,
Mary McGoldrick, aye.
Mark Cameron,
Mark Cameron, aye.
Diane Kennedy,
Diane Kennedy, aye.
Fran Collins,
aye.
Meg Wheeler,
Meg Wheeler, aye.
and Gina Stino, aye. I hope you feel better, Mary.
I will. Thank you.
Good. Okay. All right. Thank you very much for this lovely
Aye.
26 minutes.
You're a rock star.
I
See you
can't think
Monday.
of
Yes,
any-
she is.
I can't think of any more people that I would rather spend 26 minutes with on a Wednesday night.
Get a new indoor record here tonight. Huh?
Yeah, there you go.
We're the bomb. All right. Good night, everybody.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Jane.
Good
Good
night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.